everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Femke from Fame to the Fiction on Instagram and Bookish Buddies over on Twitter. And today I am here with my bookshelf tour. So before we get into the actual tour, there are just a couple of things that I quickly wanted to mention. First up, I will only be talking about the books on my shelves today and not all the decorations that are everywhere. I have over 500 books on the shelf, and if I also had to go over all the goodies that are in my bookcases as decorations, we would still be here tomorrow. If that is something you do want to see, let me know down below in the comments, because I'd be more than happy to film that for you as well. But for today it's just the books. Second, I am only doing the bookcases that I film in front of. I have kind of like two small ones. One of them holds books for my education, my crochet books, that kind of thing, and the other one has all my foreign language books. There's a couple of Dutch ones in this one as well. My Agatha Christie books, my crime novels, etc. But I'm not going through those ones. Again, if you do want to see that, I can film that for you. Just again, let me know down below in the comments. And the final thing I wanted to mention is that if a book is a special edition of some sort, so Goldsboro, Fairy Loot, Alcrate, whatever, I will say that. I will tell you what it is. My bookcases are arranged alphabetically, so we start with the A right up there, and alphabetically I mean alphabetically by author's last name. And we end up with the Z all the way down below. So if you want to see a specific letter, you can just skip ahead a little bit to see what books are there. Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. The Wrath on the Dawn and the Rose and the Dagger. Flame in the Mist and Smoke in the Sun. The Beautiful and the Damned in the Fairy Loot editions, all by Renee Ahdieh. The Hazelwood in the Fairy Loot edition by Melissa Albert. Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of Hans Christian Andersen's classic fairy tales. Starcrossed, Dreamless and Goddess. Trial by Fire, Firewalker and Witch's Pyre, all by Josephine Angelini. Storm and Fury, From Blood and Ash, both by Jennifer L. Armentrout. The Awakening, The Summoning and The Reckoning by Kelly Armstrong. Onyx and Ivory in the Fairy Loot edition and Shadow and Flame by Mindy Arnett. Damsel by Alana K. Arnold. Red Queen, Glass Sword, King's Cage and Cruel Crown by Victoria Aveyard. The Candle and the Flame by Nafisa Azad. Grace and Fury and Queen of Ruin, both Fairy Loot editions by Tracy Banghard. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising in the original hardback versions by Leigh Bardugo. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Crooked Kingdom, The Language of Thorns in the Fairy Loot edition, a signed Waterstones edition of King of Scars, a Lumicrate edition of King of Scars, Waterstones exclusive hardback edition of Wonder Woman Warbringer, Waterstones exclusive edition of Ninth House, all by Leigh Bardugo, Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron, Heart of Thorns by Brie Barton, Girl Serpent Thorn in the Fairy Loot edition by Militia Bashir-Doost, The Waking Land by Kelly Bates, Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron, Empress of a Thousand Skies and Blood of a Thousand Stars by Rhoda Baliza, The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King and the Queen of Nothing, all by Holly Black, Anna Dressed in Blood and Girl of Nightmares, Three Dark Crowns, One Dark Throne, Two Dark Reigns and Queens of Fenburn, all by Kendare Blake, The Darkest Minds, Never Fade in the Afterlight, Passenger and Wayfarer, all by Alexandra Bracken, Romanov by Nadine Brandes, The Nine Lives of Chloe King by Liz Braswell, Part of Your World by Liz Braswell, The Beholder by Anna Bright, Penguin Clothbound edition of The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, Barnes & Noble leatherbound edition of The Arabian Nights, which was translated by Sir Richard F. Burton, Mirror Mirror by Jen Kalanita, Roar and Rage by Cora Carmack, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass in the Penguin Clothbound edition by Lewis Carroll, Follow Me Down by Tanya Byrne, Graceling, Fire and Bitter Blue by Kristen Kishore, The Selection, The Elite, The One, The Heir, The Crown and Happily Ever After, The Siren, all by Kira Cass, and The Element Encyclopedia of the Celts by Rodney Castleton, a first edition, first printing UK hardback of The City of Brass, with exclusive end papers, signed and numbered exclusive Goldsboro editions of The Kingdom of Copper and the Empire of Gold, all by S.A. Chakraborty, Wicked Fox by Kat Cho, Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho, The Star-Touched Queen by Roshni Chokshi, exclusive Fairy Loot edition of Into the Crooked Place by Alexander Christo, The Bone Witch, the Heart Forger, and the Shadow Glass by Rin Chupeco. Magic of Blood and Sea and Magic of Wind and Mist by Cassandra Rose Clarke. A Shadow Bright and Burning and a Poison Dark and Drowning by Jessica Cluse. An Arc of Wicked As You Wish by Rin Chupeco. Fairyloot exclusive edition of The Last Namzara by Kristen Ciccarelli. Waterstone's exclusive edition of The Binding by Bridget Collins. The Hunger Games Catching Fire and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. Nightshade, Wolfsbane and Bloodrose, all by Andrea Creamer. A Penguin cloth-bound edition of Dante's Inferno. Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Mirage by Somaya Daoud. Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Sight Witch and Blood Witch, all by Susan Dennard. Wicked Saints and Ruthless Gods by Emily A. Duncan. Fire and Heist by Sarah Beth Durst. Naming Jack the Ripper by Russell Edwards. Angel Fall, World After and End of Days by Susan E. Exclusive first printing of The Wicked Deep by Shea Earnshaw, with hidden foiling on the cover. Jewel, The White Rose and the Black Key by Amy Ewing. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. Shelf Love Crate exclusive edition of We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Even the Darkest Stars and All the Wandering Light by Heather Fawcett. Sanctum, Fractured and Chaos by Sarah Fine. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Shielded by Kaylin Flanders. Daughter of the Burning City, Ace of Shades by Amanda Foodie. Fairyloot exclusive edition of The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. First edition, first printing hardbacks of Caravel Legendary and Finale by Stephanie Garber, of which the second and third are signed. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Finale by Stephanie Garber. Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. Fierce Fairy Tales and Great Goddesses by Nikita Gill. Assassin's Creed movie tie-in, written by Christy Golden. The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Grattan. Changeling and Stormbringers by Philippa Gregory. Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of The Tales of Norse Mythology by Helen A. Gerber. Rebel of the Sands, Traitor to the Throne and Hero at the Fall by Alwyn Hamilton. Waterstone's exclusive edition of The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. Waterstone's exclusive edition of The Mercies, also by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. Fairyloot edition of Eight Will Fall by Sarah Harrian. Because it's too much trouble to pull them all out, we have Dead Until Dark, Living Dead in Dallas, Club Dead, Dead to the World, Dead as a Doornail, Definitely Dead, Altogether Dead, From Dead to Worse, Dead and Gone, Dead in the Family, Dead Reckoning, Deadlocked, and Dead Ever After, all by Charlaine Harris. Orphan of the Sun by Gil Harvey. Illumicrate exclusive edition of Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. Red Dawn Rising by Deborah Hellinga. Sweet Evil. Sweet Peril, Sweet Reckoning, and Sweet Temptation, all by Wendy Higgins. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Viper by Bex Hogan. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, The Retribution of Mara Dyer, and The Evolution of Mara Dyer, all by Michelle Hodkin. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Everless by Sarah Holland. Penguin cloth-bound editions of The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. The Lantern's Ember by Colleen Hook. Fairyloot exclusive edition of Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. Winter Song and Shadow Song by S.J. Jones. King of Ithaca by Glenn Alif. To My Eternal Shame, 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Freed and Grey by E.L. James. Gilded Cage and Tarnished City by Vic James. The Shadowed Sun by N.K. Jemisin. 1,000 Nights and Kingdom of Sleep by E.K. Johnston. The Illumicrate exclusive edition of Empress of All Seasons by Emiko Jean. That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnston. Exclusive first printing of The Stormcrow by Kaylin Josephson. Exclusive foiling on the naked hardcover. Exclusive Fairyloot edition of A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. Talon, Rogue, Soldier, Legion, Inferno, Shadow of the Fox, and Soul of the Sword, all by Julie Kagawa. Exclusive Fairyloot editions of A Curse So Dark and Lonely and A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. The 100th Queen, The Fire Queen, The Rogue Queen, The Warrior Queen by Emily R. King. A Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King. Evenfall and Emergence by Gaia J. Koss and Boris Koss. Air Awakens, Fire Falling, Earth's End, Water's Wrath, and Crystal Crowned. Golden Guard Trilogy, The Alchemists of Loom, The Dragons of Nova, and The Rebels of Gold, all by Elise Kova. Storm Dancer, Kinslayer, and Endsinger by J. Christoph. Illumine, Gemini, and Obsidio by J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman. Evernight. Signed first edition of God's Grave and Dark Dawn. Lifelike and Deviate, and Aurora Rising. The previous four all by J. Christoph, and this one by J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman. UK hardback of The Poppy War, The Illumicrate exclusive edition of The Dragon Republic. I Forgot to Say by R.F. Kong. These are Defy, Ignite, and Endure by Sarah B. Larson. Exclusive Fairy Loot edition of Beyond the Darkened Shore. Through the White Wood by Jessica Leake. Exclusive Fairy Loot edition of Forest of Souls by Laurie M. Lee. Furyborn and Kingsbane by Claire Legrand. Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen. Warrior of the Wild. And the Fairy Loot exclusive edition of The Shadows Between Us, all by Tricia Levenseller. The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The Horse and His Boy. Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and The Silver Chair, all by C.S. Lewis. The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis. Reflection, Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. Monsters, volumes 1 through 4 by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. The Valiant, the Defiant, and the Triumphant by Leslie Livingston. The Owl Crate exclusive edition of The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. Parts 1 through 7 of The House of Anubis, including De Geheime Club van de Oude Wilg, Het Geheim van de Tombe, De Geheimzinnige Vloek, De Uitverkorene, Het Geheim van Windsbrugge Hennegouwen, De Traan van Isis en De Vloek van Achesenamon. I Am Number 4, The Power of 6, The Rise of 9, The Fall of 5, The Revenge of 7, The Fate of 10, and United as One by Pittacus Lore. Warcross, Batman Nightwalker by Mary Lou, The Collector's Society, The Hidden Library, and The Forgotten Mountain by Heather Lyons, A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight. Again, too much effort to pull them out. Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, Kingdom of Ash, The Assassin's Blade, Waterstone's exclusive edition of House of Earth and Blood, and the Waterstone's exclusive edition of Catwoman Soul Stealer, all by Sarah J. Maas. Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin, Le Morte d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Mallory in the Barnes & Noble exclusive leather-bound edition, Stalking Jack the Ripper, Hunting Prince Dracula, and the pre-order incentive exclusive Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco. Yes, I'm missing Escaping from Houdini, A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, A Feast for Crows, and A Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin, The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell, Given to the Sea by Mindy McGuinness, Owlcrate exclusive edition of Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore, my Dutch versions of Vampire Academy, including Academicus Vampirus, IJskoud, Schaduwkus, Bloedbelofte, Geestesband, en Offergave, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. On the left, again, too much effort to take them out, from top to bottom, The Short Life of Bree Tanner, The Host, The Illustrated Guide to the Twilight Saga, Twilight, Nieuwe Maan, Eclipse, and Morgenrood. The bottom 4 are Dutch editions, all by Stephanie Meyer. Markswoman by Rati Mehrotra, Mask of Shadows by Lindsay Miller, Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Nocturna by Maya Motain, Flashfall by Jenny Meyer, Illumicrate exclusive editions of Gideon the Ninth and Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Weir, Strings of Murder and Fever of the Blood by Oscar de Morial, Fairy Loot exclusive editions of Girls of Paper and Fire and Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nyan, 1,000 Beginnings and Endings by Ellen O and Elsie Chapman, Delirium, Pandemonium and Requiem by Lauren Oliver, Panic by Lauren Oliver, The Surface Breaks by Louise O'Neill, Fairy Loot edition of The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen, Seafire by Natalie C. Parker, A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians by H.G. Perry, Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, Waterstone's exclusive edition of Superman Dawnbreaker by Matt de la Peña, Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of Tales of Mystery and Imagination by Edgar Allan Poe, Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal and the Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson, Wicked Like a Wildfire and Fierce Like a Firestorm by Lana Popovich, Heart of Iron and Soul of Stars by Ashley Poston, Dreaming Anastasia, Haunted and Anastasia Forever by Joy Preble, Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Bonecryer's Moon by Catherine Purdy, Snow Like Ashes, Ice Like Fire and Frost Like Night, Fairy Loot exclusive edition of These Rebel Waves and These Divided Shores by Sarah Roche, The Queen's Rising and The Queen's Resistance by Rebecca Ross, Rebel Spring, Gathering Darkness, Frozen Tides and Immortal Rain by Morgan Road, An Enchantment of Ravens, Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, 4, Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth, Carve the Mark and The Fates Decide by Veronica Roth. Stack on the left are the original Bloomsbury hardcovers of Harry Potter, The Tales of Beedle the Bard, Quidditch Through the Ages, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the new cover hardback editions of Harry Potter, the Slytherin House editions of the first 3 books, and the screenplay for the first 2 Fantastic Beasts movies. The Winner's Curse, The Winner's Crime, and The Winner's Kiss, Fairy Loot exclusive edition of The Midnight Lie, all by Marie Rutkowski. Fairy Loot exclusive edition of State of Sorrow by Melinda Salisbury. Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Skyward and Waterstones exclusive edition of Starsight by Brendan Sanderson. The Near Witch, The Dark Vault, Everyday Angel, A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light. The Illumicrate exclusive edition of A Darker Shade of Magic, including the Rosie Thorns Dust Jacket, This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet, City of Ghosts and Tunnel of Bones, Vicious and Vengeful, The Steel Prince, Knight of Knives, and the Rebel Army comics, all by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab. The Alchemist, The Magician, The Sorceress, The Necromancer, The Warlock, and The Enchantress, all by Michael Scott. Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. Amber and Dusk by Laura Celine. A very nice edition of The Complete Works of William Shakespeare, of which I have no idea what edition it is. Vampire Blood, Vampire Rights, Vampire War, and Vampire Destiny, all by Darren Shan. The Bone Season, Waterstones exclusive edition of The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Scythe, Thunderhead, and the Owl Crate exclusive edition of The Toll by Neil Schusterman. Royal Bastards, City of Bastards, and War of the Bastards by Andrew Schwartz. Pacifica by Kristen Simmons. Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye. The Other Side of Dark by Sarah Smith. Renegade, Revelations, and Rebellion by G.A. Souders. Again, too much effort to pull them all out, so the right stack is from top to bottom. Angel's Blood, Archangel's Kiss, Archangel's Consort, Archangel's Blade, Archangel's Storm, Archangel's Legion, Archangel's Shadows, Archangel's Enigma, Archangel's Viper, Archangel's Heart, and Archangel's Prophecy, all by Nalini Singh. Hunted and Sherwood by Megan Spooner, Penguin Clothbound edition of Dracula by Bram Stoker, Tiger Queen by Annie Sullivan, Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri, An Ember in the Ashes, A Torch Against the Night, and The Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir, Fairies of Dreamdark, Blackbringer and the Fairies of Dreamdark, Silksinger, original UK hardback editions of Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters, trade paperback edition of Muse of Nightmares, US hardbacks of Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, Fairy Loot exclusive edition with blue sprayed edges of Strange the Dreamer and orange sprayed edged Muse of Nightmares, Illumicrate exclusive editions of Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, and Night of Cake and Puppets, Lips Touch, and the mass market paperbacks of Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, all by Laini Taylor, Song of the Current by Sarah Toxer, The Tiger and the Wolf and the Bear and the Serpent by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Too lazy to pull them out, so from top to bottom. Unfinished Tales, The Silmarillion, The Children of Urine, The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, all by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, the Dutch bind-up edition of The Lord of the Rings called In the Band van the Ring, The Boundless Mercies by April Genevieve Tucholke, Fairy Loot exclusive edition of To Best the Boys by Mary Weber, The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White, The Witchfinder's Sister by Beth Underdown, and Alison Weir's Six Tudor Queens series with the Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anna of Cleves, and Catherine Howard. And I Darken, Now I Rise, and Bright We Burn by Kirsten White, Blood and Sand by C.V. Wick, Sky in the Deep, and The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrian Young, the Goldsboro edition of Blood Air by Emily Van Zyl, an Arc of the Stormcrow by Kaylin Josephson, an Arc of Furyborn by Claire Legrand, and finally, this book does not belong here, but it literally came in as I was filming, The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. So those were all of the books that I have on my shelves. It's over 500 books on these shelves alone. If you managed to sit through this entire video, I applaud you, well done. I want to also thank you so much for watching if you did that. If you liked it, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you want. I want to thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!